All right, everybody. A very unhappy Wednesday to all of you from wherever you may be listening. This is the Unhappy Gilmore Show, powered by Green Legion Radio, part of the Green Legion Radio family. I am your host for the next hour-ish. I said that last week and we went 2 hours. So, like I said last week, pull up a chair, listen on your drive, or on the company dime, as is the most preferred method. Get paid to do that shit. And let me try to entertain you for the next little while here as we wrap up day 3 of this week's hostage situation and look forward to tomorrow, which is Friday Eve. But today is not just day 3 of this week's hostage situation. It is also football Eve. Finally, NFL back is finally the NFL is back tomorrow night as we get the Bills and the Rams. Nice way to kick off the season. I'm a big Josh Allen fan, so looking forward to watching at least some of that before my fat ass passes out tomorrow night. But anyways, like I said last week, and I'll keep doing it every week. I know any of you that wanted to go to the opener in Detroit with the Green Legion, I'm pretty sure that they were done with all of that at 3 p.m. today. So if you were trying to go, I hope you got in. Unfortunately, the wife and I weren't able to get on that trip. Just a lot of other shit going on. So that one just wasn't in the cards for us. But, there's a whole bunch of other road trips and tailgates that you can still jump on board with. The two that my wife and I are going to go to are Arizona. Of course, that's the trip of the year. I got to believe there are 900-ish people on that one now. That's going to be absolutely fantastic. I can't wait for that. And then Indianapolis in November. Like I said, Indianapolis, less than a 2-hour drive for us. That one probably a little bit more subdued crowd, but should still be a blast. Always a blast with the Green Legion. They are the best in the business. So if you're looking to get to an away game or a home tailgate, www.greenlegion.com is definitely the way to go. You don't have to be an Eagles fan to jump on these things, although it does help. Pretty much any time that I have either gone to a home tailgate in Philly or on a road trip, there have been fans from the other teams, usually the fan for the city that we're in, at the tailgates, sitting with us at the games and everything. So it's always a blast, no matter who you root for. Get signed up, get out on the road. Like I said, you want a chance to crack a few beers and crack a few jokes and crack a few nuts with Unhappy Gilmore, Arizona and Indianapolis are going to be your opportunities for that. Labor Day weekend. We were looking forward to, s'mores outside, and we were going to watch the Ohio State Notre Dame game on Saturday night outside, like the fire pit. And as of my show last week, that was still looking possible. It was hit or miss storms. Dude, that weekend came in, and this whole weekend was a total wash. The whole thing. It rained from Friday until like 11 o'clock Sunday morning. It was an absolute shit show. And, to like Monday morning. And so we just didn't get the opportunity to do much of anything but sit in the house, I still watch the game and everything. And, by the way, for all you folks that are Notre Dame fans, I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. That team hasn't shown up for a big game in 35 years. Don't expect them to show up for a big game now. We're not fans of them in this house. I am a Penn State fan. I posted it on Saturday night before the game. Yes, I'm a Penn State fan. Yes, I'm rooting for Ohio State in this game. Notre Dame can kiss my ass. I think my friend Dave Conant, who's usually in here commenting, he gave me some crap on there and said, something about how could, it makes him sick or blah, blah, blah. And I think my exact words were, dude, fuck Notre Dame with a cactus. Twice. I should have put twice because that would have made more sense. But anyways, didn't have a great time. It was nice to be home for the 3 days with the fam and do some stuff here. But we were really looking forward to outside, and the whole thing stunk because of the rain. But that's about it. I hope everybody else had a nice weekend. I know you at least had some nice weather up there in the Northeast, although I did hear that the weather that we had here worked its way there and kind of washed out part of your guys' stuff too. That stinks. Sorry for that. Working towards this weekend, we're looking like it's going to be at least another halfway washout. But silver lining, my oldest starts his job this coming Saturday. The guy who owns the company my wife works at also owns a farm. And Grady is going to go start working at the farm on the weekends rather than go work at Kroger or something like that, where he's trying to juggle that during the week. He has some trouble getting his, it's a little bit of an attention span problem with his homework and stuff like that. So rather than put added pressure on him during the week, we're just going to let him concentrate on the school all week and then focus on work on the weekends. And, if we can slip some more work in there for him along the way, that's what we're going to do. I think the farm job will be a great thing for him. A little physicality, get him out there, get him moving, make him more self-aware, and get him to earn his own money. I think we all can remember when we had our first jobs and we're able to do that. So, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling as a father too, that he's going to get out there and start working. One last thing. I did call myself a fat ass a couple of times already tonight. Quimby's not the only person in Green Legion radio family here that's been able to boast about ways to lose weight, which, by the way, folks, the only really way to lose weight is caloric deficit. Okay. You just, that's the tried and true method. Unhappy Gilmore, about a month or so ago, I got on the scale. 2.5 months ago, I got on the scale. I was almost 240 pounds, which for me is disgusting. That's just not a good look for me. Clothes are all, walking around all bloated and gross. About a month and a half ago, I got on the scale. I was at 232, and then just started changing what I was eating a little bit. Went down to 228. As of this morning, as of Monday morning, I was at 209. And we're still trending downward, which is great. I want to be 200 or less by the Arizona trip. Before we get off and rolling, I do want to hop over to the room and say what's up to everybody. Aiden, my man, heard you've been kicking some real ass with the field goals, kiddo. Good job. Keep up the good work. All right. Proud of you guys. Grady keeps telling me about the football scores. So, yes, I did hear you finally beat Coleraine. I know that's a big thing for you guys. So, congratulations. Callie Joe finally joins the room. Only been tagging her in this thing since I started, but whatever. Better late than never. How you doing, darling? Lou Mancini. Keenan. Callie, when is the Arizona trip? Arizona is October 7th through the 12th. That's when we're going. It's the Friday through Tuesday. The game obviously being that Sunday afternoon. So that's when Michelle and I are going. Desi, precursor for our guest tonight. For those of you that don't know, and that would be pretty much everyone on here except for the guest who's about to join us, Desi here, Desi from the block, is the owner of the greatest breakfast, at least on this side of the Mississippi River, if not the entire country. So, and no, you don't get to have any. Russ Taylor, Dave Connett, there he is. Ohio State fans suck. Dude, I'm not denying that, but Notre Dame can swallow, brother. Sorry. Russ Taylor, Keenan. I've known this man since I was about 20 years old as well. Big Trump fan over there, although we're not going to talk politics on here. I don't want to offend anybody, at least not yet. So, we've tried to do a sound check before the show, but we were a little bit rushed. I had to get off and rolling. If you all saw the tease for the show, I do have another guest tonight. Last week, we had my friend Sam, who I told you, has been my brother for 30 years. And I hope you enjoyed that. I know Sam and I had an absolute blast. It was a chance. Really, it was like the two of us catching up and just talking sport. We're just talking sports and talking shit for 2 hours. And I can tell you those 2 hours felt like they went by in 20 minutes. But that was last week. This week, I've got another brother. I think we're a little over 20 years with my man here. So we're gonna hope that the sound is working. If not, I'll try to carry us a little bit and see how it goes. Without further ado, this is my brother, the founder of Whiskey Hill Softball and the lead director of the Bridgeport Co-ed Softball League, Mr. Fito Mata. Hey!
Did it work?
Yeah, we can hear you, brother.
There we go. Here we go.
All right. Let's go, baby.
Minor technical difficulties.
Yeah, shit happens, dude. It's not like, we're not on Sirius XM here.
I know. I was in the shower. Desi's like, Adam is calling you. Call him back. And I'm like, what's wrong? And I couldn't figure out the volume or the audio issue. But at least, hey, we're up and running now.
We're off and rolling, brother.
So, yeah.
How the hell are you, man?
Dude, awesome, man. That rain you were talking about earlier hit us Monday night, Tuesday. We're on a camping trip out in Bosa, Connecticut, which is it's like the northeast corner of Connecticut, and it's about 20 minutes from the Mohican casinos.
Okay, so not far from Uncasville and all that shit.
Yeah.
Not all that. Yeah.
About 15, 20 minutes from there. We had an awesome time. It was our first family trip with my wife and my daughter, 8 years old, Maribel, who's also watching this show, and my son, Mateo, 5 years old. Yeah. Well, for those that don't know, I'm a truck driver, so I do have myself. So it goes with the territory, right? But yeah, we had a great time. It was supposed to be a nice, gorgeous weekend. It turned for the worse, but it's hard to travel with two small children, so we had to cut the trip short. But we, nonetheless, I'm on vacation this week anyway, so I know you and I have been trying to link up onto this show, and I've been part of the Green Legion Radio show, and you guys do such a great job that I've been, you've been egging me on to come on, and it's just like perfect. I'm on vacation. We could work this out. I could come on Wednesday and have some fun with you. I don't know. I don't know if I could top Sam's show last week for 2 hours, but I'm gonna do my best.
So for all of you, Fito, just this season, was it last year or this year that you were named lead director of the league?
So I've been part of Bridgeport Co-ed Softball League for 23 years. They voted me in 2 years ago as a board member, and then just this past year they pretty much bumped me up the list and made me lead director. The Deb Fruge, who's also a Connecticut State Softball Hall of Famer, runs the league for the last 42 years, and she didn't have anyone else to trust but me, and she begged me to come on board and take over. Basically, she's taken me under her wing and showed me all the ropes, and it's been an interesting season. It's hard to make everyone happy, but rules are rules. You just try to make sure that everyone is safe, having fun. And softball, it's a recreational sport, and but I'm very proud to be part of it. I've put my heart and soul into this thing, and a lot of money too. Don't tell Desiree, but. But no, it's such a great thing. That's where you and I met 20 years ago.
Yep.
Right,
Kenny was making deliveries to the warehouse I was working in, and I had played with Kenny in a shitball league. I was only 15 when I started playing in that league. I wasn't supposed to play till I was 18. Yeah, I started playing when I was 15, and Kenny was a ringer on that team at the time.
Yeah,
and I kept playing. Well, then we run into each other. I'm working at the warehouse. He's making deliveries with FedEx.
Right.
And he's like, dude, I got this Friday night team, and that was the pit stop team in Devon. And then he asked me if I wanted to come down to Bridgeport
on the post
and play at Beardsley Park. And so he brought me into Whiskey Hill, and he warned me. He's like, dude, bringing you in, we're trying to bring in a few more people that are a little bit better. We're going to try to, make the team better. He goes, so you got to sit at first because I don't want to piss anybody off.
Yep.
He goes, so just chill. Well, you remember me when I was like 22 years old. There was no chill.
No.
Right. So I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there, and I know I'm better than these dudes that you had out in the fucking outfield. Yeah. And I'm watching, and I'm like Kenny. I'm like freaking chomping at the bit, and finally starts giving me some playing time, and then we go from there. But that was
But
I'm
you and I hit
43
it off
now,
right
so
away.
that was
Yeah.
Well, I'm 43 now, so that was every bit. That's a little over 20 years ago now.
Oh yeah, man. And you and I hit it off right away.
Yeah,
We became
same
really good
age,
friends, same
fun.
age
Yep.
up, Yankee fans,
Well,
and
you
we
were
know.
playing. Were you playing some men's league stuff back then too? Because I was.
Well, I was trying to get into hardball, like local hardball games, and I couldn't do it because of my work schedule at the time. So then I just dedicated my Sundays just for softball.
Yeah.
And I'm one of the three founders that started Whiskey Hill, even though Steve and Derek were there part of the team when we started it. I think they were gone by the second year.
I remember Steve.
Yeah, yep. So I
Yep.
pretty much I took the reins and ran with it, and the idea of Whiskey Hill, it's a lifestyle. It's loyalty, it's brotherhood, it's camaraderie, and it's something that I've always been driven to push onto my players. And if you're a new player, you always sit first. You have to
Yeah.
learn us first, and then you earn your spot.
Yep.
We don't get paid for softball. It's all bragging rights, and at the end of the day, it's a drinking league, right? I mean, that's how we're really going.
Well, I mean, look at our shirts, brother.
Whiskey Hill,
Whiskey
right?
Hill. Right?
Yeah, so we're still the rowdy bunch of the league. We're 22 teams deep. We are celebrating our 50th anniversary this year, and Whiskey Hill is still the longest running team consecutively in the league. And I'm working really close with the ASA, which is USA now. It's formerly known as the American Softball Association.
Yep.
And we're trying to get the ostrich under our league's name or some type of title, because we've started to do a Wikipedia page.
Nice.
And we can't find any other league that's been running since 1972. So if I can get some more info and we could dig a little bit deeper, hopefully we can get the title of the oldest running co-ed softball league in the country.
In the country.
In the
That
country.
was going to be my next question now, because I know Connecticut's a hotbed softball.
Yes.
And I loved growing up there. When you first met me, I think I was playing 5 nights a week.
Milford alone holds so many.
Oh, yeah, Milford's huge. I was playing in men's league in Milford. I was playing a men's league in Bridgeport at Beardsley Park.
Yep.
It was a modified pitch league.
Yep.
And then I used to play co-ed because there were women.
Women, food, and beer.
Yeah, like it was fun. It kept you loose. I mean, I used to show up hungover half the time.
Yeah.
Let's jump over the room here for a minute. Looks like Grady's friend Aiden wants to know if you're talking to us from a toilet.
No.
Leave it to the kid to start breaking balls right away.
Oh yeah. I'm actually in the living room, right in front of the fireplace. I was trying to get the best lighting.
And Chuck, there he is. Chuck joins when he can. He wants to know if I have any chill now. Well, kind of.
Hey, and shout out to Lou and Keenan. Now they can put a face with the name, because I've been part of the show and kind of shit with them all the time.
That was another reason why I wanted you to get on here, man, because you've been in the room. You talk to these guys, because that room, you've been in there. They it takes on a life of its own.
It does.
Quimby on Tuesday nights, we'll get off and rolling. You guys will be over there just having a good old time.
Yeah.
And
no, you've been doing a great job, bro. I'm so super proud of you.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Well, listen, man, there were some other specific reasons, and we talked, earlier today, and really for the last couple of weeks, about some specific stuff. And I teased it during the show that I know it's football eve, and to the room, all of you guys, I promise we are going to get to football. That is happening tonight. We are not, this is Green Legion. This is a Green Legion Radio family podcast. It's built on football. We are going to get to football, but I did tease that we were going to talk some baseball.
Yeah.
And the tease was we were going to look at it. You were going to get some stuff from a different perspective. And that is a huge part of why I asked Fito to come on here. So, I think you talked a little bit about the league already, talked a little bit about Whiskey Hill, but let's move on to what else we had discussed was, where did your love from baseball come from? And then, can you elaborate on that note?
Yeah, I mean, with baseball, it's more of a cultural thing, and where I come from, being Dominican, it's at the age of 2 or 3 years old, you're picking up a baseball bat, you're picking up, baseball, you're running around, it's just part of what we do every day. You know, Dominican Republic is the land of baseball. That's their number one sport, and probably the only sport. They do play basketball, but baseball, like 99% of all players are on baseball. And DR has the second largest number of major league players, right behind the United States. So a majority of those players come from DR. And it's funny because 30 teams in the MLB, they have academies all around the country. Even though that the country is split in half between Haiti and Dominican Republic, they do migrate over into that country and they pick up Haitian players as well. But unfortunately, only 2% of those players that go to those 30 academies get signed. And they're very low contracts. Most of them, they may just migrate into the minor leagues or AAA, and then that's pretty much their career there. It's you get those one or two players or maybe a handful of them that really push forward to be an all-star and come up into the major league. But there's huge recruitment down there. I remember growing up, and so I was born in Puerto Rico because my father wanted to make sure I was born American. But I went back and forth, and it's a third world country. It's I would say what 1/3 of the people or the population living there are under the poverty line. So it's for them. A lot of times it's they strive to be the best baseball player. That's why you see a lot of good ball players come out of there to get that chance to
ticket out, right?
Right, that's their ticket out to take care of their family, take care of everyone around them, and obviously bring up their community as well. People like Sammy Sosa, he started a school after he retired. He did a whole bunch of things out there. David Ortiz, I mean, I'm sure you heard the stories. He's done many things. He started a college and a whole neighborhood, fresh water, food. But it's a great way for the country to, not only do, a lot of people go there. I'm sure. Did you guys, Green Legion, go to?
Yes. Well, they're going again this year on the bye week. We went. Michelle and I went with them in 2020 when there were no fans. It was the week we were playing Green Bay. The trip was supposed to be to Green Bay for Lambeau Field. No fans. We ended up, Quimby called the audible and said, we're going to do a trip to Punta Cana. We went down for that.
Yeah. So in Punta Cana, that's like total
resort town. Yeah. You drive 5 minutes away from that and you can see exactly the stuff that you're talking about. It's it's very impoverished. Yeah.
It gets bad. I remember we would take a broomstick and then we would wrap it with duct tape or electrical tape and shape it to a bat.
Yeah.
And then like my aunt was a seamstress, so she would make like leather balls and stuff, and she would stitch balls for us. I mean, it was a way.
What the hell did you fill them with?
I don't remember, like
rocks,
like pillowcase, cushioning or something like that. Yeah. It was simple for us, even living in Puerto Rico. I was there till I was about 8 years old. We couldn't afford TVs, so, but baseball, we did everything outside. So this is why, like, it's such a great sport to do because everyone can get involved. You could be a woman, a man, a child, or an adult. Everyone can get involved. It's such a great sport. And, it runs deep in the Dominican Republic, so deep that back in the 1870s, when the Cubans were fleeing, Cuba, to avoid war, they ended up in Dominican Republic, bringing baseball back with them. So really quickly, the Dominican, the residents in the community, they absorbed the game so fast that they created makeshift sand lots. They played on beaches, parking lots, wherever they could play. Everyone was playing the sport.
And then now, so I mean, and that's a thing. It's kind of a thing across like most of Latin America, right? Because I know Mariano Rivera. You know, he's from Panama,
Right.
and you know, he would when he's done things. You know, his I think it was his Yankeeography where he talked about being a kid, and
Yeah.
that's where you see these kids with these makeshift gloves made out of milk cartons,
Milk cartons.
playing with sewn together things that their aunt or their grandmother might, or rocks or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, and that's how they learned how to field. It was just this thing that fit over their head. It just to me, it was amazing.
Yeah, I
It's
remember
just
you would
amazing
put
to
your
see that.
hand on the carton, you'd cut it out, and then you poke holes in it, and then you tie string around the inside or on the outside of your hand, and that's how we used to catch the ball or
And
rock,
that's
whatever it was.
right. Yeah, whatever the hell you were using as a ball.
Oh
My
yeah,
God, man.
it was big for us, you know, and now with the Major League Baseball and all these other teams going down there to recruit, now they're playing in. They're no longer playing in these makeshift sandlots or parking lots or beaches. Now they're playing in actual stadiums.
Nice.
They've invested millions of dollars in these pueblos. We call them pueblos, or small towns. And you know, you've got poverty, and then all of a sudden you see a 10,000 or $10 million stadium right there erected. And it's a great way for young men to come off the streets, you know, continue their love for the sport of baseball. And the best part is they get an education
Nice.
because Spanish is their first language, French is their second language, English is third.
Wow.
So what they
Right.
do is they have programs out there that teach these young men to speak English. So when they do come or they get recruited into the States, and if it doesn't work out for them, now they can transition into, you know, into the American society, and you know, and
And have a
obviously
backup career.
correct, yep. So they got a great program down there. So shout out to the MLB for doing that. You
Is
know,
that
and
so? Is that just the league, or is that so you get? I know that a lot of talent funnels from there. You know, I would say most of your best talent in the major leagues funnels directly from Latin America, whether it's the DR,
right.
Panama, you know, Puerto Rico, wherever. Your best players are coming from there. Um, so is this a thing where like, is it just the league itself, or are you like David Ortiz, Alex Rodriguez, Albert Pujols, guys like that? Are they a big part of what's helping build these stadiums, build this culture, build this educational program for these young men?
So I believe a lot of the funding comes from them. I don't think they directly, you know, have a hand in it, but they do have a lot of recruiting companies coming in, developers, education systems coming in. I mean, they've one location for the Arizona Diamondbacks. They have all brand new computers, bath houses for the community. And I mean, I don't know the extent of how much is being put in from those individual players, but it does show that the league teams are investing into these communities so they can recruit some of the best players. There's this young kid coming up the line. He's 13 years old. They're calling him the number one prospect, Emmanuel Beltre, I believe his name is. Let me see. Yeah, there's two of them, Alvin Guzman and Emmanuel Beltre. So you should be seeing them up the pipeline in the next 5 years. Like these kids are like they're top notch, and they're investing everything in them. I think he's 13 years old, and he's already has a $3 million contract for
Oh
minor.
shit! So that's
Yeah,
another thing I was going to ask about. Is like, you know, here in the States, you don't really, unless you're following a whole lot of high school baseball, you're not, or college baseball, you're not hearing a lot about about the top talent
right.
until they're 17,
They're
18,
in your
20,
face.
22
Yeah,
years old.
yeah.
Um, Whereas your Latin American players, the top end of that, you're hearing about these kids when they're 13, 15, 17, much younger. Um, you know, and people kind of, you hear a lot of crap about like, okay, you know, is he really 15? Is he really 20? Like there was always that shit with Pujols. Like how old was
I
he really
am
when he hit?
12.
I
What was
that
that?
was
The bench
perfect.
warmers?
Well, who was that? Who was that kid that was with the New York Little League, the Staten Island Yankees or whatever it was years
Yeah,
ago?
yeah, yeah,
They call him Eric Almonte or something like that.
Yeah.
The kid was like shaving and stuff. It's like, dude, you're not 12. Like, it's bullshit.
Peach fuzz.
Yeah, man. He was like, it was either it was bullshit. Everybody knew it, but
Yeah.
so there's always those questions too, because documentation, like you said, a lot of these areas are impoverished, so documentation can become a problem. You don't really know. There you go, Russ Taylor. Thank you, Danny Amante. Yeah, that's who I was talking
Danny
about.
Amante, yeah, that's a name, yeah. And like baseball symbolizes hope, and for them, if they can be the greatest baseball players, because of 1/3 of the country's 11 million residents are under the poverty line. So any hope that they can get into, and they really strive for that. They're very Christian oriented. They're spiritual people. I don't ever hear much as far as crime in DR, but I'm sure there's crime everywhere. But
human trafficking is a problem.
Yeah, there is, but it's very low key. You don't see it out there, but the focus is baseball. And it represents unity, happiness, cultural heritage, and a way out of poverty. So that's what they really look for in baseball out there. Which is when I left to PR, it wasn't as big. Then we came to Connecticut moved to New York when I was 8 years old. Came to Connecticut when I was 9, and we had Little League. I played North End Little League, and it played great. Had a great time. Went into high
North
school.
End Little League.
North End Little League, yeah.
So you and I are the same age, right? Are you?
Yeah. Yep.
I played North End Little League.
Do you remember Jason Appleby?
Oh God.
Yeah. His dad ran the league at the time, and my brother and I were big prospects coming in. They were like, "Oh yeah," because we used to play at the Lafayette Bank when hit windows all day, and guy drove by. He's like, "Who the hell are these kids?" So they invited us up, and we had a great time. I ended up dropping out a year later. My brother Ron kept going, because I fell in love with the sport of football. Not to say that I don't like baseball, but football really caught my eye, and it changed my vision and where I wanted to go. So
look at this. You get back to Dave Connett here, where he's making smart ass comments about me going to play for Whiskey Hill a little better than he asked you. Love you, brother. Yeah, Dave. Just to let you know, I'd have ran circles around you all day long back then, bro.
Whiskey Hill, baby.
Wouldn't even have been close.
Yeah.
Anyways, Dave thinks very highly of himself.
Hey, that's good.
Hey, confidence is important, right?
That is.
But no, man, I appreciate the insight on baseball down there, because I think that's lost on a lot of people. Exactly. I mean, everybody knows that's where the bulk of the great talent is coming from. But I think what's lost on them is what these kids have to go through, and if they're, what they have to do to get there, avoid a life of crime, avoid, there's only so many avenues for them to really make a living if they're in an impoverished area in these other countries.
And a majority of them drop out of school by the age of 10 just to play baseball.
Just to play baseball, or, God forbid that doesn't work out. Now you're working in a field somewhere.
Yep.
Some sort of illegal activity where you're making a quick buck seems like the better way to go. So when you see some of these folks come out of these countries, like a Pujols, or as much as I hate to say it, Alex Rodriguez, I'm not his biggest fan. Everybody,
which I've met him before.
Well documented that I can't stand Alex Rodriguez.
I've actually met him. He's a really nice guy.
I'm sure he puts on a great show. It's as far as I'm willing to go with him.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I see him in interviews and stuff. I don't know if he just always comes across as if he's trying way too hard to be, to be more than what he is.
Yeah.
And if you watch the documentary, The Captain, there's a lot of comments like that about him, like that he was trying to be Jeter instead of just being himself. Like, you were never going to top Derek Jeter playing for the Yankees. He's Derek fucking Jeter.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this was not going to cheat, dude. Get it. Got it. You were more talented. Nobody's questioning that. A-Rod was amazing.
Yeah.
He wasn't Derek Jeter.
Right. Wasn't there a point where Derek Jeter was going to move to third? And
that was the whole thing, was that they should, the knock, Jeter took crap back then
Right.
for not moving and making A-Rod move.
Right.
Now,
That's
A-Rod and Jeter both say that it wasn't a point of contention. They both say that. Even Rodriguez admits that, I was asked to move to third, not by Jeter, but to make the trade happen, I was being asked to move to third. And to be honest with you, dude, A-Rod had bulked up so much. His range wasn't any better than Jeter's at that point, anyways. But A-Rod was A-Rod, man. So he was the best shortstop in the game until he came out and said he was doing steroids.
Yeah.
But that dude was a weirdo. Do you remember when he first came to New York? There was always reports he was chasing Madonna around the city. She's like 20 years older than him. He's getting caught out at like illegal poker games late at night. Dude, you never heard a peep about Jeter.
No.
Ever.
Never.
A-Rod's in New York for 5 seconds, and everybody's got the dirt on this idiot.
Yeah.
I couldn't with him.
A-Rod came off as a playboy when I met him. Yeah, he came off.
Pretty boy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Total pretty boy. Whereas Jeter looked the part of a pretty boy. But when you see these documentaries and everybody that talks about him, he didn't play that way. I mean, all you do was watch him. He didn't play that way.
And Jeter had like 0 scandals the whole time in his career at New York City. Never.
He didn't hear a peep. He didn't give the media anything, nothing, which is why that documentary is so great. I was worried that you were going to get kind of the same vanilla. Jeter was a boring interview, dude. He never gave anybody anything. There was never a controversy. I was worried that documentary was going to be the same way. Oh, hell no. Gloves came off a few times. Jeet let it fly, dude.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah. He gets where they're talking about the 2000 World Series. And he goes, we didn't hate the Mets. We didn't, love. He goes, they were just the Mets.
The Mets.
It's awesome. I'm like, yeah, get him, G. He's like, they were just the Mets.
Yeah.
And then he looks over at somebody off camera and takes a drink of his water. He's like, probably going to take some shit for that. All right?
Yeah.
He's dropping F-bombs and everything in this thing.
Yeah,
he showed some character, which was really cool to see.
The feeling's mutual, definitely, for the Mets fans, because I get it all the time. You're a Yankee fan? Get the hell out of here! Yes, it's all the same thing.
Well, especially now this year, the Met fans are all out pounding their chest, because although they're tied with the Braves now.
They're tied with the Braves, and I think Yankees are in third, right? Or they're following?
No, Yankees are in first place in the American League
East.
East.
I've been living under a rock.
But we're only 4.5 up on Tampa coming into today.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, the Yankees have almost blown their lead too. So
yeah,
I mean, it's been a rough second half in New York, rougher for the Yankees. Which great transition. May as well just go right into the state of the Yankees before we hop over to football.
How about our boy Judge?
Yeah. Okay. So I said it last week.
Yeah.
I'll say it again tonight. I admitted it to you earlier. You guys all know early in the year, one of my freaking famous rants was going berserk about, it was May, early June. And here's all this talk about record-breaking win total. And then the focus on Judge.
You didn't give a
when
fuck.
He had caught fire. I didn't want to hear a damn thing about it. I don't want to hear about home run records in June. I was pissed. But I promised everyone, just like I said last week, that if he was within 10 at the start of September, that I would jump on and I'd be all in. Well, he was within 10 at the start of September. And in case you didn't know already, game 1 of today's doubleheader, which I didn't see the final yet, if it's gone final, but Judge did hit number 55 in like the 4th inning today. So
choo motherfucker, let's go.
Yep. So he's got 6 more to catch Maris, 7 more to break it. Now, this is another good thing here. Sam last week asked me what I felt about Judge if he gets past Maris. Where do I consider that as far as record wise? Well, first of all, it would be the American League record. Okay. It would be a Yankee record, which is a big deal because, when you start talking Ruth and Maris and Mantle and guys like that, setting a Yankee record for an offensive category is a big deal.
Start talking money.
Well, yeah. Well, and there's the other thing with Judge is he bet on himself this year and delivered. So the Yankees are either going to say, here's a blank check, fill it out for yourself, or he's going to end up playing for the San Francisco Giants. That's my guess.
Yeah.
Where do I consider it all time? I am very much, when it comes to the steroid stuff, a get off my lawn. I do not believe in Barry Bonds. I do not believe in Mark McGwire. I don't. Look, I get the whole McGwire and Sosa thing. Helped save baseball in '98. Great, got it. I don't believe in Bonds at all. To me, it's Hank Aaron and Roger Maris.
Top two.
So to me, Hank Aaron is still the all-time home run leader.
Yeah.
And Roger Maris is your single season leader.
Yeah.
So to me, and no, this is not a damn Yankee bias, but to me, if Judge passes Maris, I think you can. For me, I would consider him the single season. And I get it. That's not the way it's going to be considered. I understand that, and I'm not going to go, running around, fighting everybody over it. It's just how I feel about it.
Right.
I do think at some point they're going to have to make an exception for the steroid era. It's going to have to be considered an era of baseball because baseball knew about it and allowed it to happen.
You're going
to at some point have to take the best of that era, and do something with them.
Right.
That's my opinion. Where do
they
you
put
stand
an asterisk on it, right?
There's no asterisks right now.
No? Oh, okay.
It's just all of us crusty old bastards that hate the steroid stuff.
Yeah.
We're all like Clint Eastwood and Gran Torino. Off my lawn. But so, that's what Sam asked me. Where do you stand on that as far as Judge? I know you're all over it. You're shoving it up my ass for not jumping on it back in May. So go ahead.
Yeah,
take your 5 minutes of fame here.
No. There's not much to jump on. It's just that, baseball is one of the hardest sports. You're hitting a round object with a round object.
And you got to hit it squarely.
You got to what?
You got to hit it squarely.
Right, exactly. So, you could be jacked 300 pounds, 6'8". I don't care how big you are. You got guys like Altuve that can hit home runs, but it's definitely a sport for the natural gifted. I'm not a big fan of the juiced, but it is what it is. I wouldn't take it away from them. And they did help bring baseball back after the strike. So it teeters, it happened so long ago, I don't even care anymore, but I'm rooting for Judge. I really am. And I hope that he's able to go past all of them. We're running out of time here in the regular season. Well, we have like 3 weeks left or whatnot. So I hope that he does it. Let's see what he could bring to the table. But so
here's an interesting thing from Russ, and I don't totally disagree. Let the steroid players in after they die because they will let Pete Rose in before his body is covered with soil. I am of the belief that Pete Rose should already be in. This is your all-time hit leader. I get what he did was bad. You don't have to let him be part of the game, but he's your all-time hit. You got to put him in the freaking Hall of Fame. Come on, This is too much now.
Yeah,
but I agree with Russ. I think
agree
Pete will be in when he passes away.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Pete Rose should be in there already. He's a big time. Oh yeah.
Lou Mancini. What do we got here? Lou Mancini. I was drunk and bought a McGwire jersey on QVC. I'm still trying to kick myself in the nuts. That's beautiful.
That's good.
I love it. This is what I mean. And Fito, you're on the show now, but you see this room and how it takes on a life of its own. Russ Taylor, dude, Bonds took the super soldier serum that Captain America took in the first movie. Agreed. That's what I told Sam last week was like when you took a guy who was that naturally gifted and then took the highest level of performance enhancing shit and put it in him, that's the result. The result was going to be this superhuman baseball player.
Yeah. His head got so huge right at the end of his career. Yeah, it was
like I thought I had a nugget. Holy crap on a cracker, that guy's head. My God. And his eyes were all bloodshot and shit. But so we've been hammering baseball for a while here. I know these guys are chomping at the bit for some football talk. You got anything else about the Yankees? I'm concerned. We're gonna make the postseason, but I think we're an early exit, dude.
Do you think so?
I think we're out. Yeah. This team has no heart, if you ask me.
Yeah. I think we got a good chance. I'm thinking deep in the playoffs. Maybe not the World Series, but we're definitely going to have a good run.
Just don't lose to Houston again.
I know. Gosh.
Dude.
Jesus. They drive me nuts.
It's just like you want to wander out onto the George Washington Bridge and be like, it's a long way down.
Them in Tampa, they're like a thorn in our ass. Every fucking year they do it to us.
I picked the thing on MLB.com before the season started. It asked you like who you thought the division winner was going to be, wild cards. I picked Tampa to win our division before the season started. I had the Yankees as the wild card.
Oh, okay.
But not like this. You know what I mean? This has been brutal. But here's Bryant and all his still talking baseball. No, Bryant, we're wrapping it up.
Yeah.
So Bryant is not a baseball fan, in case anybody couldn't tell. So let's jump over to some football, brother.
Let's go. 2022 NFL season starts tomorrow.
Tomorrow, we are on football eve. You see my name tonight. I didn't do the unhappy Gilmore. I called it football eve instead. I'm pumped. I'm pumped for tomorrow night's game, man. I like Josh Allen. He's fun to watch. I think that game could light up the scoreboard early. I think it should be a good time.
I'm a fan.
Like I spoke when we spoke on the phone earlier, and like I tell the room pretty much every week, look, guys, if I come on here and only talk Eagles football, you're going to have 3 to 4 shows a week on Green Legion Radio that are all talking the same thing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk Eagles football, but I am going to talk other stuff too. You guys, if you watch, most of the folks in the room, they watch Tuesday nights as well with Red on Q. You know my stance. Quimby and I see very much eye to eye on a lot of stuff. I'm excited for this season. I think the Eagles have a really good shot to make a lot of noise. We made outstanding offseason moves between Quimby and my friend Kidder, who runs a tree service down in Tampa, Florida. Successful too. He actually does all the tree work at Raymond James Stadium and at George M. Steinbrenner Field, along with a contract. He's also got a contract with the city of Tampa. He's killing it down there. It's awesome.
Let's go.
He deserves it. He's a great dude. He was actually the best man at my wedding. Him and Quimby both, they're both in their, they're both about 10 years older than you and me. And they both said that this offseason may very well have been the greatest offseason in the history of the Philadelphia Eagles. Dude. And it's hard to argue with between the draft and the free agent acquisitions and the trade with A.J. Brown. It's been unbelievable. Now, you could say, look, they really have, they got to get time to gel or whatever. Well, guess what? We play a really weak schedule, particularly in the first half. Great time to gel. So I've got another friend who's very concerned about Sunday against Detroit. Look, I've said it myself. You cannot come out flat against Detroit. Dan Campbell will have that team ready. They are not as talented as we are. Guys, they are not. If you're worried about Detroit, do not worry about a talent level thing. The Eagles are superior at pretty much every position, maybe with the exception of running back, and you might give Hawkinson a slight edge at tight end over Dallas Goedert. Outside of that, we crush them everywhere.
Yeah, I agree.
The only thing I would say is you can't come out flat because Campbell's team is going to be ready. But if a fuck like me can sit here and say that, you got to believe the Eagles know it. Nick Sirianni knows it. He's going to have them prepared. A lot of what I'm hearing about from friends of mine that are Birds fans where they're concerned is the fact that we went light on practicing in the training camp, light on the reps for the first team in the couple of preseason games. Well, what you have to understand, guys, is that's the way the whole league is starting to go. The Rams have been doing that for a few years. They've made 2 Super Bowls and won one of them.
A lot of injuries happen during those practices, man.
Bingo. Would you rather lose A.J. Brown for 6 weeks before he even steps on the field in a meaningful game, or would you rather let them kind of get going with a game against the fucking Lions to start the year? I mean, the Lions are not using Jared Goff.
Yeah. Now they're using those what do they call those pads on the helmets now? Angel or crown.
Yeah, did you see these things?
Yeah.
Make their head look as big as Barry Bonds.
Looks like a monkey.
It's out. It's nuts. Oh, here we go. Miss Samantha Ross is in here. That's all you do is talk. I'm holding you to this, Gilmore. She is, we'll call it extremely cautiously optimistic for Sunday. Okay, she's optimistic, but with stipulations.
Who are you guys playing?
Detroit. We're at the Lions.
Detroit. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the home opener is, against Minnesota. That's going to be a tougher test. But it's our home opener. It's at night. Kirk Cousins stinks in primetime games. He's 8-17 in his career in primetime games. Home opener in Philly. I'm not sweating that one too much.
Yeah.
Who the hell is this? Donnell Okafor. Sam, if you're watching, do you have any idea who this is?
Because
I don't. I'm gonna probably end up kicking him out in a minute if he doesn't stop running his mouth. But I'm okay with a little crap back and forth. But don't be a jerk. You know what I mean? Come in, have some fun, do some stuff. But look, man, as far as the NFC East, I don't expect a whole lot of competition. I think Dallas is down. I think they lost they lost too much during the offseason.
Giants.
So I think, we'll get to your wife's team in a minute. I think Dak is going to be asked to do way too much. He's been shit for Donnell. It's cool, brother. No worries. You want to come in and break some stones or whatever? We're good with it, man. No problem. You'll find that the room there is very entertaining. They have a good time. So join in, have fun. That's what we're here for, brother. But so the Cowboys, dude, Diggs is not going to have the year he had last year. Okay, nobody forces that many turnovers 2 years in a row. Just doesn't happen.
Cowboys.
And dude, Dak without Amari Cooper historically not good. Okay, Michael Gallup isn't back yet.
They got CeeDee
Lamb.
Yeah, he's hurt, isn't he?
That's it.
I think CeeDee's hurt.
No, CeeDee's not hurt. Michael Gallup is hurt.
Oh, Gallup. Okay,
he's coming back from his knee injury. So he's not back yet. They want, Jerry Jones is out there preaching that the run game is still going to go through Zeke. I'm like, good. Run your whole offense through Zeke. We'll eat that up.
I'll take that W.
I don't expect much out of Dallas. I think their over under on win total is like 9.5 or 10. That might be the easiest under in the league.
Yeah.
Except for your wife's team. The New York Giants, who I think their over under win total is sitting at 7.5.
Ouch.
That's probably if you ask me, that is definitely the easiest under in football.
Yeah, that's
they are bad, dude.
Daniel Jones, he can't find his comfort zone. The kid
Blues.
Yes, exactly. Big time.
I can't with him. And then
I feel
doesn't
so
have
bad.
receivers.
Yeah. I feel so bad for Saquon Barkley with his talent. He's stuck at that team, and
with that offensive line. Ugh.
Oh God, it's terrible. Terrible.
Smell the stench from here.
Sorry, honey.
They belong in New Jersey with the way that team's playing. For all of you that are from New Jersey, Sam, don't get it. I'm talking about North Jersey, obviously, not South Jersey. So relax. And then Washington, right? The commodes.
Yeah.
With Ronald McDonald, a ginger aff at quarterback. Come on, man. We know what his MO is. He played in Philly for a few years. This kid can't handle it. We're going to get in his ass with that front four all game long. And they're going to eat him for breakfast, man.
Did you call them the commodes?
The commodes. Yeah. I started getting shit for continuing to call them the Redskins. So I think it was Quimby the first time I heard somebody call them the commodes. I said, oh, well, that works.
I love it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I can't take credit for that one. That's all. No. It's all. It was somebody Green Legion Radio. It definitely wasn't me. I'm ripping
commodes. It is. I love it.
Yeah. So I mean that's my take on the NFC East, man. I think everybody's spot on. I think you're talking the Eagles are probably, if they play to their potential, Jalen Hurts takes that next step. Doesn't have to be great, just above average. And everyone plays to potential, continues to get better as the year goes on. I think you're looking at a 12 to 14 win football team, somewhere at or near the top of the conference. Now, that's going to ruffle your feathers. For those of you in the room who haven't seen Fito or spoken to him before, great dude, been a brother of mine for over 20 years, but we do have a minor character flaw here. Fito, you want to tell everyone what that character flaw is?
I am a diehard, since I was 8 years old, a San Francisco 49ers fan. And true to the goal, to the day I die. And, it was back in the 80s when it was the true Niner form. You had, the the gold team. Basically, you had Jerry Rice and the Joe Montanas, the Steve Youngs later on down the pipeline. The Roger Craigs. That was the team to root for. I was young. I didn't know. We didn't have a TV. I didn't realize San Francisco was on the other side of the country. I thought it was in my backyard. So I'm stuck. I apologize. But I do root for the Yankees and I do root for the Niners. Those are my two teams. And we have a season opener this week against the Bears, 1 p.m. And it should be a great game. You got Justin Fields, who has kind of like a chip on his shoulders because the Niners, they skipped over him and went to Trey Lance. And it is what it is. He's got
the Bears are bad, dude.
They are bad. The Bears.
They're fucking terrible. I feel so bad for Justin Fields. I think he's a good kid with a lot of talent. That team is shot.
They are, man. They're hurt defense-wise. Even their secondary is terrible. So, I mean, it should be an interesting game. We've got Trey Lance coming on board as our QB1 starting the game, which is going to be interesting. I don't
know if I like that situation for Trey Lance.
Yeah, you know what? He had 1 year on the bench. He followed right behind the footsteps or the curtain tails of Jimmy G. Then he got hurt. He ended up the season going into the championship, NFC West championship, and lost, obviously. But quite frankly, he's inheriting a championship team. He's taking over a championship team, and he has to fill those tall shoes this year. And I'm rooting for him.
But
Jimmy
he's got to
G,
fill him with Jimmy sitting right there behind him on a bench now.
But you got to remember
the uncomfortable part, right?
But Jimmy says, he said several times, no matter what the media says, we're like brothers, is what he said. Then they're willing to work with each other. And
I like Jimmy. I think he's a professional like that. I do. I want to believe Jimmy G.
Yeah, I did too. I mean, he was a 31-14 record, as a starter for 5 seasons. You can't go wrong with that, right? 2 NFC championships. It's a win-win scenario for everyone, for Jimmy G, Trey Lance, and San Francisco 49ers. And not to mention, the locker room loves him. Every player, every manager, every coach, everyone on that team, they love Jimmy G. They wanted him to stay there. So it was pretty exciting that he stood. I was rooting for him to stay. And let's not forget, he just started throwing the ball last month. He had his surgery. He just started throwing the ball. Does he have range? No one knows. He's practicing with no cameras on him. So that's probably one of the main reasons why no one picked him up, because they weren't really sure how effective he'll be. But now he can kind of coach Trey Lance a little bit more. He can sit the sidelines. He can wait till like the 4th or 5th week, and if he's feeling good and anything ever happens with Trey Lance, which I hope it doesn't, Jimmy G's ready to go.
Were you surprised that they were able to rework his deal and keep Jimmy G there? Were you surprised, one, that they did that, and 2, that Jimmy actually wanted to stay?
I wasn't surprised that he wanted to stay, but I was surprised about the $6.5 million fully guaranteed. I was surprised about that. Now he's the highest paid backup quarterback in the NFL this year. So
he's probably the best backup quarterback in the league.
Yeah, exactly. So
I don't know if it's all that close, to be honest.
I mean, I'm excited for him, and you never know. Maybe if the shit hits the fan, we can see a repeat of the old Carson Wentz and Nick Foles era, or the phenomenon.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, well, Quimby will tell you that the biggest mistake, and he's right, the biggest mistake the Eagles made after that Super Bowl was keeping both Wentz and Foles on the roster. One of them should have been traded in that offseason.
Right.
My thoughts were to trade Foles, because I didn't think the ceiling. I didn't think the ceiling on Foles would ever get any higher. Whereas I thought at the time we'd only scratched the surface of what Wentz can do. Now, look, you could make the argument that both cases were wrong. Wentz turned into a giant pile of ginger shit. And
where is he now? He's a backup quarterback now, right?
Wentz is the starter with the Commodes.
Oh, that's right.
And then Foles, he goes on to Jacksonville, gets hurt. Minshew takes over, does well. Foles comes back.
He comes back,
plays a couple of games, and they end up benching him because Minshew was playing better. Then he goes to then Foles ends up in Chicago, and he can't even beat out Mitchell Trubisky for the starting job.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you can make the case that everything in 2017 for the Eagles was lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
Wentz showed his true colors. He's not mentally tough enough to handle the stuff that, granted, he had a lot of shit pile up on him, injuries, Foles, and then drafting Hurts and all that stuff. But, it's like I talked to Hollis Thomas about this, I think when we were in Punta Cana a couple of years ago. And I mentioned all of that. And he's like, dude, look, I get it. He goes, but sometimes that shit just happens. And you've got to be mentally tough enough to overcome it. And he was damn right.
Right.
And Wentz just wasn't tough enough to overcome that. Here we go. Sam, Super Sam, Wentz isn't making it to game 3. Sam, I want Wentz to make it to at least the game against us. Because I want to whoop that ass. That's why. I want Jordan Davis to squash that sumbitch all over the field. But anyways.
Yeah,
so I know you're picking your Niners to win your division.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
Where do you see that division playing out? You're in the same division with the defending champs,
which is tough. NFC West has been tough for many years. Obviously, with the whole, West Coast offense that everyone pretty much inherited, and the Niners are 5-time world champions. I hope we were this close last year. I was sitting here on my floor crying watching that game. We get so close every year. We've been to
right there.
Yeah, what, 3 Super Bowls or 2 Super Bowls in 3 years? It's tough.
Yeah, you were right there. You were in it against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And Mahomes, of course, does his second half magic.
Yeah.
You've been the biggest thorn in Aaron Rodgers' side for a long time now.
Oh yeah.
Here you have a fellow Niners fan in here though, Dave Connett, a very good friend and smart ass. F the Rams, no fan loyalty, and LA doesn't deserve pro football.
That's right. That's right, David.
He is a Niners fan. He's a big time Niners fan.
Yeah, Shanahan he's putting all his eggs in the basket here on training.
Yeah.
Last year he was 441 yards with 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in the preseason. With 2 starts. And then this year he was 11 for 16, 141 yards, 1 touchdown in the preseason. So, he's gone on a rough, it's a little rough start, but we'll see how he gets down. They did lock in their 53-man roster with 9 wide receivers and 5 running backs. Yeah, we have 5 running backs. And one of them is Juszczyk, Kyle Juszczyk. So that he's a fullback. Now, what's really interesting about these players is that they're all what was that?
9 wide receivers and 5 running backs. Holy cow! Where are you skipping on then?
But what's really good about this is that these players are, you can multi-use them, running like Debo, catch and throw, or catch and run. So it's going to be, because the Niners, they run the ball hard before they do
hard.
Anything. They run the ball, and then they.
A little surprised that Trey. So what was the deal with Trey Sermon? Why did he not make the roster? Because the Eagles picked him up. I like his size.
Super surprised about that. Yeah.
Yeah, we grabbed him right away. I like the size. He's 6 foot 215, so bigger than the typical running back that we go for, which is your scat back, bullshit. We needed a bigger back, and he kind of fits that mold. What's the deal with him? Like, why did he not make the roster?
I was researching it, couldn't find anything on there. We ended up keeping, I believe, Hasty. Let me see.
So you kept 5 running backs, right?
We've got Jordan Mason, Elijah Mitchell, Jeff Wilson, Kyle Juszczyk, and Tyron David Price. Those are our 5 running backs.
And Trey Sermon couldn't make the mix in his second season. I wonder why.
I have no idea. I tried. Maybe David can chime in. I have no idea. I kept trying to find the information. He just didn't make the 53-man roster.
Oh, Dave over here says he is worried about Lance, not sold on him at all. I'd be concerned. I think at least out of the gates, it's it's probably going to look a little bumpy. It's not going to be smooth. Like, Jimmy goes out there and does his thing. He's a professional.
Yeah.
This is a kid and a raw kid at that. That's probably gonna look a little bumpy at first.
You know, I think he's gonna do fine. I'm not even worrying about it. But the one player that I'm really excited for is Nick Bosa. You know, he's finally coming back a full season. You know, super healthy. He, pound for pound, probably the best pass rusher, rusher in the NFL. You know, my prediction is that he's going to be Defensive Player of the Year. You know, if he stays healthy. Just in
Nick Bosa.
2000, Nick Bosa, yeah.
Wow.
In 2022, he was fourth in sacks, 15 and a half yards. He was tied in the NFL with top tackles for loss, which was 21, tied with T.J. Watt.
So this is last year, or is this what you think is going to happen this year?
Right.
This is last
I'm
year.
sorry. This is last year.
This is last year. Okay.
Yeah,
I got
2021.
you.
Sorry, not 2022. I mean, you got guys like Aaron Darnold, obviously from the Rams, that always puts a kick-ass show, and that kid from the Raiders, he looks like a promising show too. Max
Crosby.
Max Crosby.
Max Crosby. Yeah.
I think he's gonna have a blowout season as well. So we'll see.
I'm not sold on the Raiders.
Yeah,
I think that division is brutal.
You
talk about the quarterback play alone in the AFC West, that might be AFC West matchups are going to be must-see TV pretty much every week. Anytime that they're playing each other, it's a game you're going to watch. Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos, Chargers, or any mix of those four.
Right.
I mean, they are going to beat the hell out of each other all season long.
Oh, yeah.
Up and down. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
I'm excited. I can't wait, man.
Yeah, man.
Baseball's my favorite sport. It's my heart. It's my soul. But football is the blood in my body. It's everything. Yeah. Everything I wanted in a sport. NFL, football, any type of football, flag football. It was always such a great game to get into. Action packed, I'm not saying that baseball is boring. It never was for me like that, but I know how
a lot of people think it is.
Yeah, they feel that way. Yeah,
it's not how I feel. Baseball, I'm like you. Baseball is always going to be my number one.
Yeah.
Today's product is a tough watch. I will tell you that.
It is. It is.
It is a tough watch. Dave over here, he did comment on Sermon. Dave says, I don't have an answer on Sermon either. Thought he would make the team. I was surprised. I was happy that the Birds went out and got him because we needed that bigger body when we decided not to bring back Jordan Howard. But whatever. Let's see what Trey Sermon can do. He's 23.
Yeah,
he's only 23 years old.
Oh, yeah. In the I formation, when you check in the fullback position, I mean, you open up a hole for Trey Sermon. He's taking it. And
there's not a lot of teams in the NFL that employ a fullback. So the fact that the Niners are using that tells you. I think it also tells you everything you need to know about Trey Lance as it stands right now. They know they're going to have to rely heavily on a run game. And probably, I think Deebo Samuel is going to get a workout this year, dude. He is going to get worked. So good for him for wanting that big old contract. He wanted to be paid as a hybrid, half back and wide receiver, which is great. Check this out. You remember this guy, Timmy Clark.
Timothy Clark. Hey,
Yankees 1-12.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Tim.
What up, Timmy?
And look who else has just joined in.
Look at Timmy. Joey B. Hashtag no invite.
Right. Hashtag no invite for the freaking Sox fan over there.
Kick him out. Get him out of here.
Right. Beat it. No. Joey's a good dude. Again, for the rest of you in the room, Tim Clark, Joey B, same kind of group where I met Fito was softball leagues back in Connecticut. Tim can probably remember when I was
Timmy Whiskey Hill, baby.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Tim can remember when I was playing in that shitball Tuesday night league with my mother's office. I think I was 15 or 16 years old. I'm sure he remembers that. He was another one. Him and Kenny and Cat were the ringers.
Cat. Oh yeah.
The three of them were the ringers. I was just a kid. I would bat lead off. I'd slap myself a base hit, and batting behind me was Kenny, Tim, and Cat.
Yep.
if we played 162 games, I would have scored 1,000 runs.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was nuts.
And Kenny go apple all the time, so you'd score.
Not back then. Back then,
No,
he
he pulled the ball.
Back then, Kenny
Okay.
would pull. That was before
Okay.
Kenny got old.
And then he go apple.
And then he started going apple. Yep.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's when Cappy used to
jack him.
Oh shit! Would he get
hit dingers all day?
So we were playing. I don't know if he's on here. I'm not sure how often he actually listens, but he sometimes gets pissed when I tell this story. But we were playing a game down at Seaside, and I'm standing on second base, and he comes up, and there's a ball. Cap loved it. He could turn on it back then, but he liked it when that ball was out over the plate, and he could get the big ass arms extended and drive the ball. Fito, he hits this ball, and as soon as he hit it, I knew it was over their heads in the outfield. It went like over the freaking light tower out there.
Oh, the light towers. Yeah.
I mean, I literally started walking towards third base. He comes trotting up behind me. He said, "Move your ass." I'm like, "For what?" They're not getting the fucking thing.
It's not coming back.
I mean, that outfielder, you can watch them. They did this. It was just,
see ya.
Gone. Oh my God. I don't know that I've ever seen a softball get hit like that before. A softball. Yeah. I mean, that thing, it sure as hell felt like that thing would have been out of some major league ballparks.
And Cappy's a big guy. Cappy's
a big, strong dude, man. Them shoulders is about out here, man.
Yeah, he'll put it away.
Big boy. Yep. That's another guy I'd like to get on here if he would ever do it. But
I saw him last week. Last week was the season-ending game. We go into playoffs this Sunday, and I did see him, and I told him, I said, "You got to get on the show, man. It's a great show. We have a lot of fun on there." He's actually retired from softball officially, so he doesn't hang out as much. But he shows up, he pops in there, smokes a cigar, maybe have a beer or two, a shot of whiskey, and then he's out the door.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was always kind of like that. If he had Cap always had his own agenda.
Yeah.
And he was private about it. He'd show up, do his thing, and all of a sudden, he'd Irish exit. Where the hell Cap? He went home.
Yeah.
He went somewhere else.
You get the Irish goodbye.
Yep. Out the door he'd go.
Oh, yeah, man, dude. Love it.
Even back in the Tony's days, man, he would just all of a sudden vanish sometimes. Where'd he go? I don't know.
Gone.
All right. Then I got to follow Kenny back to Milford so he doesn't drive like too much of an ass.
That's if he didn't leave you with the tab.
There ain't no about Joey B.
Yeah.
That was all a big running joke. Who's got the tab? They're all like,
I don't know. Yeah. You're the one inviting me, so you're paying.
You're paying, right. Meanwhile, there's like 3 pizzas and 5 pitchers of beer on the shit.
Oh, yeah, man. Good old days, man.
Good time.
For those that are interested, I also do live stream on our platform.
There you go.
Simultaneously on Facebook and YouTube. It's spelled out 4 words. It's Bridgeport Co-ed Softball League. We are on YouTube. On Facebook as well. We have a Facebook page. We stream we have 4 time slots, 12, 1:15, 2:30, and 3:45. We try to do all 4 games. I'm not the best commentator, but I get it. I get on there and have fun with it. I know a majority of these people, players and teams that play on this league. We're 550 people strong in this league, so it's a lot of names to remember. And I have a great time. The players come down with their families. It's a cultural league, generational is what I meant to say. Sorry, it's a generational league, and people come down there and they have a great time. So it's not the old bush drinking beer league that we used to have. It's a little bit more organized now, but we have fun. We definitely have fun.
No more bench clearers with all the trying to go after each other with bats and shit anymore.
Yeah, no. we actually, yeah. I don't know if you noticed, we got rid of all the metal bats. Now men only use wooden bats or corn dogs. We tried using corn dogs, but they don't allow.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah, it's all wooden bats now.
I didn't notice.
The girls can use metal, but they can't use composite bats, only single walls.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I think the
so
single wall rule is a good idea, especially in co-ed anyways.
our fields are
Yeah,
very small. They're
well,
tiny.
and that ball, anything more than a single wall, dude, that ball comes off the bat so damn hard.
Right.
That pitcher standing there, if you don't, that can get risky.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Very risky.
But the cool
But no,
part is,
I didn't notice that the dudes were using wood bats.
yeah, we changed
Oh
over
man.
about 6 years ago, maybe 7 years ago. We changed over to
Oh,
one.
I freaking love that, dude.
Yeah. Oh
Oh,
yeah.
I would love. Oh, dude, I would love to come in there and use a fucking wood bat.
And it levels out the playing fields for everyone because we're still using the 525 compression ball,
Yeah,
47 core. But there's still pop on the ball, even with a wooden bat. But
but
it does
it's dialed down a little bit.
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we don't want anyone getting hurt. Just one girl a few years back got popped in the mouth. She like the first like 4 teeth in her mouth were taken out.
I hit a girl in the ribs one night.
Yeah,
in Milford on that Friday night team. She was pitching flips, throwing flat pitch. And I think I was commenting on your live stream one, and I could see that pitch come in. I started saying, like, you got to make that umpire get that ball up.
right.
So I step in. I'm leading off. I step in, and the first pitch comes across flat, down at my knees on the outer half, and I let it go. I'm figuring he's going to call it illegal, and he called it a strike.
Yeah.
I stepped out of the box. I turned and looked at that umpire. I'm like, you better make her get that ball up. I swear to God, somebody's going to get hurt.
So yeah.
And I forget if it was that at bat or if it was my next one. She does the same thing, and I turned on it. And you remember the way I used to hit was I right back through the box. I used to go back up the middle. And I liked it low because I could get my arms extended. And sure as shit, and that thing was on her in a split second, right in the ribs. And I felt fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Slam on first base. I'm safe. I turn around and I am screaming at that umpire.
Yeah.
On you, asshole.
Yeah. We encourage our pitchers to wear masks or they wear at least the shin guards minimum that. But we're trying to collaborate with the city of Bridgeport to see if they can open up our fields a little bit bigger. It's supposed to be 65 feet from first base and 63 feet, I believe, to the mound. So it's well under that, and we're just trying to get that to a safe ASA regulated size field. But it's a city league. We gotta work with what they give us.
For sure.
And now we're back talking about baseball.
Oh, that's all right, man. But we've been going here, brother, about an hour and 20 minutes. I told you, it goes fast, man. It goes really fast.
I'm having fun, man. I know we've been, trying to get this going a month ago or whatever, and with work, obviously, I'm a commercial driver. It's so hard to put out time for the show. But I'm a huge fan of you guys, and especially the Unhappy Gilmore show. You guys have been doing such a great job, and it's a lot of fun. I definitely want to come back again if we get a chance.
It's like I told Sam last week. You've always got a place here. We're gonna hopefully be able to talk to Q sometime soon about sponsor stuff. Can't really plug anybody else right now. But we can. Hopefully, I can get that conversation with him. I've got a couple of buddies that have asked about. I've got a couple of buddies that have asked about. What all it entails. They're willing to do some things. And I'm sure it's not big monetarily, but they're willing to do some things. So just a conversation I got to get with Q. He's a busy man, especially this time of year when you start getting towards football season. He's on the road. He's prepping for the games and the tailgates and everything. And the man is a perfectionist. If you ever come out on a trip with us and you see him the day of the tailgate, you get there when it starts, and he'll just kind of stand there and just walk around the room. He's not looking at anyone. He's just looking at what's going on.
Right.
Make sure everything is absolutely perfect.
That's awesome.
You heard me at the open of my show, at the open of tonight's show, is nobody does it better.
That's right.
Nobody.
That's
nobody
awesome.
does it better.
It's a great team to be on.
Yeah, you can not like the Eagles all you want. You want to have a good time on an away trip, come on down.
I think that's one of the things.
Be aware you're going to get razzed a bunch, but
yeah. Well, that's one of the things that attracted me to this show is the fact that, even though it's an Eagles channel, you talk about everything. It's not just Eagles. You talk about hockey a couple times. You talk about basketball.
Yeah.
You know,
I try to mix it up because, like I said, if I don't, then it's going to be a lot of the same stuff multiple times a week. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's Green Legion was built on Eagles football. So that's absolutely fine. But I like to talk about some other stuff too. I know a lot of people. There's one guy, Michael Scott. He's not in here tonight, but he was trying to get me to. He wanted me to create a swear jar somewhere where every time I said Yankees, I had to put a fucking $1 in it. I'm like, well, that ain't gonna. I said, I can go break out the Monopoly box for you.
Yeah.
But
That's a good idea.
So, what do we got here? Joey B. Kenny, # no tap.
No time.
Keenan. Pam keeps a metal bat in the car. She says that bat won't break like the other ones did. Oh, Lord. Dave, what do we got here? This is like when you and I talk, and we're still talking 4 hours after I said I was leaving your house. Yeah, it happens, man.
Yeah.
I get it. And then we got Keenan down here again. Quimby has OCD. He does. But you know what? He's a perfectionist, OCD. But you know what? It shows in the trip that he puts on. I say he, but that the Green Legion puts on. It's not just him. He's got a great staff working with him too. But you can see the personal touch on it. And he walks around those tailgates and just he wants it to be exactly how it should be in his mind. And that's what he's out there doing. And it's great. Oh, Sam. It's Pam's birthday. Well, happy birthday, Pam. I did not know that. Keenan, please wish her a happy birthday from all of us here at the Gilmore abode, and Fito and his family too. Speaking of your family, you kicked them out of the house to do this, didn't you?
Out the door.
So did you tell them you can't come back until I tell you it's okay, or what happened there?
They're actually watching the show now. I gave her my Wi-Fi device, or the hotspot device, so she can watch it. You know what it is? It's my son. He's gonna want to be right here on the camera saying hi. He's gonna be like this. What's going on, guys? What's going on? What are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm like, it's a distraction. So.
Dude, I get it, man. I totally get it. Dude, so I do this show from my bedroom.
Yeah.
Because I can shut that door and I can lock it.
Yeah.
and that's it. Now my family's listening downstairs.
My 5-year-old.
I do it from here.
No fucks given.
Yeah. Keenan, what do we got here? Never a bad time at a Green Legion affair. That is damn right. My brother, you got any final thoughts?
Go Niners.
I will have you know that Quimby has run. He's been doing this for 20 years. Okay, He's been doing the Green Legion trips and stuff for 20 years.
Wow, 20 years. That's amazing.
And he says that. And Sam Ross, if you're still in the room, I believe I'm right on this. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe Quimby is quoted as saying that the Niners fans is the worst fan base in the goddamn league.
That's fair. Okay, that's fair. No, I just want to say, no, thank you for this opportunity, bro. You and I have been friends forever, and it's a lot of fun being on here with you, man. So I'm looking forward
man.
To that for real.
And look, this, like I told you ever come on, I'm going to be all in. I'm all in. I'm Whiskey Hill. I was born in that area. So nothing changes for me. And, if and when, like things we've talked about in the past, I'm a phone call away, homie. You know that.
I'll try to tone down the 49er talk. Then.
No, don't worry about that, man. Hey, look, Sam's a Giants fan. He was on last week. So, the room lit up. They're like, who the hell is this guy? Blah, blah, blah. And then he fell on the sword and admitted that the Giants stink.
Yeah.
The whole he can stay.
Yeah, I love it.
Anything else, anything else you want to get off your chest?
Hey, if anybody wants to follow us at Bridgeport Court Softball League on YouTube and Facebook, hit us up, like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. The channel's still being built. We're building it up where we have 9 camera views on our channel. So we have home base, the batter's box on both sides. We have third base and the outfield too as well. And we just brought in a live drone feed as well. So we have
Oh,
the
nice.
drone flying in the infield and taking live feeds there too. So check it out. We're always trying to, expand this league, expose it. 50 years strong at the Bridgeport Court Softball League, and we really love the sport and obviously other sports. And I'm here for Unhappy Gilmore all the time. He knows how we get down, and whatever you guys need. We're trying to get Gilmore on the show as we're live streaming, so that should be really cool to do.
Yeah,
Remotely.
we'll have a good old time with that, especially if you start talking playoffs and I can get on there and start razzing people.
Yeah.
Did Kenny make the playoffs?
Actually, we're playing them this Sunday.
Oh, come on. You got to get me in there, brother.
Yeah.
You got to get me in there for that one.
Whiskey Hill versus Pablo's. We play them at 3:45 on field 4, I believe. So it's going to be
glorious. Be right towards the end of the 1 o'clock game.
Yep.
Which is the Birds. Oh yeah, man, that you got to get me in there on that.
Yeah, and I'll be commentating that game. So I'll talk to Joey, my IT guy, see if we can get you streaming in with us at the same time. So
yeah, it's like I told you. I think, and we all love Kenny.
Yeah,
Kenny Lawton's been recently married. So congratulations again to Mr. Lawton. I was sorry I couldn't be there for that, but I hold to my word. I believe he's given up more runs in that league than any pitcher that's ever pitched in it.
Especially with the walks. Oh, come on.
Forget it. I mean, he's something. Yeah. We all love you, Kenny, if you're listening, if you hear this later on. We all love you. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have anything else, man. I'm pretty much wrapped up here. I'm just making sure I don't forget anyone here.
I got all my notes. We talked about everything.
Did you get it all out? I know you had a lot written down, which I was happy. Dude, when you sent me the first screenshot, I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. This is exactly like what I wanted to ask.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Man.
Almost forgot Callie. Little stinker that she's about 4'11", Callie.
So what are you averaging now? Because I haven't been on the show the last couple of weeks. What are you averaging as far as viewers?
Oh, I don't know. It's somewhere around 5 to 550 at the end of a week between Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, which is nice, That's man. Awesome. It's fun. I'm having a great time with it. I hope to keep it going and keep it growing. And just I'm enjoying being part of it. So always very appreciative of the opportunity. It was Quimby that first said it. I was cracking jokes constantly on his Right on Cue show. And he finally just was like, dude, you're getting your own freaking podcast. He's like, I think the way he just, I said, well, he goes, you're enough of a daft prick to draw an audience or something like that. And I just started cracking up.
You and I were talking about this a long time ago. We were saying, I was telling you how much talent you have about, speaking or talking about sports radio. I mean, you shoot off right at the top of your head. You got stats, you remember things, and you got a great personality. So I knew when you told me about this Green Legion Radio thing, I knew it's going to kick off perfectly for you. So look at you now. I
appreciate that, man.
Look at you now, my man. I am not surprised. I promise you.
Thank you very much, Vito.
Oh, yeah, man.
And thank you for coming on tonight. I know we've talked about it for a while, and I know your work schedule plus the responsibilities to the league and the wife and 2 kids. Totally get it. I'm glad we were able to do this tonight. I'm hoping we can do this.
Definitely.
Maybe at least a couple more times during the football season if you've got the opportunity. Maybe even get a show where you Sam, you, me, if we can get a few people in here and go that way. I think, look, I can sit here, and I've told these guys this before, I can sit here and do this forever.
Yeah.
But I believe that the show is more enjoyable when it's not just one talking head sitting here, giving a spiel for an hour.
Well, remember,
I think it's much more enjoyable when there's more people.
Yeah, I mean, remember in the wintertime we were doing the
house party.
The house party. Yeah. It's like 5 of us talking and having a good time till like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Desi, you're doing a great job, Gilmore. Keep it up. Well, thank you, Desi, and I'll be back to Connecticut at some point to get some of that breakfast.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to come see you out there, man. We got to plan that trip, definitely.
Yeah, either out here or hook up with us when we come. We're gonna do
Philly, right?
we're gonna do the Mid-Atlantic baseball thing next summer. So Philly and
Philly.
DC Philly and DC are gonna take the
Yep.
3 days in Philly, 4 days in DC, but I'm gonna hit Baltimore for a day in between because in Baltimore, not much to see. You're talking Fort McHenry, Babe Ruth Museum, Camden Yards, and out.
Yep.
Throw in a crab cake lunch on the Inner Harbor and get the hell out of there. So
yeah.
But that's going to be the trip. I got to work it out with Sam Ross. She's going to help us out lodging wise for when we're in Philly, and then we've got a family plan to put some money together for next summer. So
nice.
That's the way we're looking at that. Yeah. So we've got some dates pretty much locked in that we want to do it. I've already looked at the baseball schedule, of course, because that's what I do. I'm a dork.
Yep.
I've got that all out. So I think we decided on some dates. I just got to go back through it and make sure we're all sewn up there.
Yeah, that sounds exciting.
Before we get back on another baseball kick and bore the shit out of everyone again.
Yeah, right.
I want to thank you again for coming on, man. This has been a long time coming, dude, and I'm really, really happy you were able to get down here. And your wife.
My pleasure.
Right here. Desi, great job, Fito. I totally agree.
You can come home now.
You and the kids can come home now, darling. But no, just like, some folks were saying about Sam last week, and I agreed this week too, the both of you have been, you're like naturals with this.
Yeah.
The most important thing to me is that you guys are comfortable.
Yep.
So, some of the questions, hey, tell us how about yourself, whatever. You just say whatever you're comfortable saying.
Yeah.
I told you and like I told Sam, it's just us talking with an audience. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I'm still the same jackass I've always been. Nothing changes there.
That's not changing.
No, it's never changing.
Nah.
I wouldn't have this show if it changed.
Bro, this is why I love you, man, because, in this day and age, people change so much, like if you stay the same, everyone can continue being friends and family. It doesn't have to be all weird, but
it doesn't. It just needs to be fun.
Right.
Just have fun.
That's it.
Everybody remember what fun is?
Yeah.
You don't have to get offended by everything.
Right.
All right, let me stop before I get off on a rant here.
Yeah. I was trying to egg you on. I was trying to get you to go.
I can see it. You're poking the bear. We'll save that for another time. But listen, happy football eve. Okay. Tomorrow night, first game of the season. This Sunday, the big slate kicks off. I know we got there he is with his Niners.
Wait.
Uh-oh. All right, get that thing out of here. What is it here?
Sent it. Sorry, honey.
He threw that shit across the room.
So
next week, y'all, I don't think I have a guest lined up, at least not yet, but you can guarantee, unless something catastrophic happens in baseball, the baseball conversation next week won't be longer than 5 to 10 minutes, and then we are going to go into football for the rest of the show next week. So, for Mr. Fito Mata, Mr. Whiskey Hill, lead director of the Bridgeport Co-ed Softball League, this has been the Unhappy Gilmore Show, powered by Green Legion.
Thank you, guys.
And we will see you all next week. Take care, y'all. Okay, yeah, we're going to get out of here. I can't stand that music anymore. Have a good night, y'all.